Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I just want to get into just how I coped with dealing with a narcissistic partner, living in, I guess like moving and living in with somebody who is narcissistic, and how I overcame that even while I was still living in that situation with my ex fiance, who I believe is a covert narcissist. So I said I'm back, so there's going to be a lot of content in regards to a few different topics that I have in mind that I'm able to explain. Pregnancy and childbirth, as well as parenting, living with a narcissistic person, co-parenting now that we are separated, and in terms of taking care of our son, how that looks. There are a few different topics that I have taken down. Addiction is a big thing that I noticed that a lot of narcissistic people deal with and struggle with, is some type of vice, some type of addiction. And I can go into further detail about the two major addictions he had, and kind of how I found out and how I coped with the addictions, and just things like that. But today I want to focus on the healing aspect. I know I haven't gotten too much into my story. I got a bit into like the introduction of my story in my other videos. And also I made a video in terms of the phrases he would use. But with this video specifically, I want to talk about my healing journey, my independent healing journey. It did start to take place when I was still living with my ex, but just not a video that's too long, but something that can kind of help somebody if they're still in that situation. And when you're out of that situation, how are you going to cope with that? Because being in a narcissistic relationship does so much damage to your mental health. Like I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, nothing like that, but I'm just somebody who dealt with it firsthand. And knowing how much mental anguish I went through separating from this person, just thoughts of you're just depressed. I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself. I definitely had feelings of deep depression, just kind of reflecting on my life, like how did I allow somebody to treat me that way? Just had to do a general evaluation again of how I felt and viewed myself, and how I presented myself as a partner to somebody else. So I just wanted to go over a list that I have here with me of some things that I practiced, and I hope they will be helpful to you. So I'm gonna start. So the first thing I did was start meditating. I started meditation when I was still living with my ex, and I needed it because I knew that this person was ultimately doing things to try and get me to come out of character, if I may say, come out of character, so he can try and like call the police on me and do things like that. Like, and I did not want to be physically violent towards anyone, even verbally abusive towards anybody. That was not my goal. I was in that relationship to love and be loved and show my children an example of that, which unfortunately with that person was not the case. But I'm just going to take a deeper dive into it. I started listening to meditation through my earphones, and I felt really alone on top of it as well, because I was very isolated from friends and family. I was living about an hour, give or take, from my city that I grew up in, which is Toronto. And I needed some type of escape. I needed to think of something that would help me. And I'm somebody, I love to communicate and I love to listen. So I was like, okay, this is not something I've listened to before, but I kind of tapped into my mind, like what makes me feel calm and what can I control right now? I can't control leaving right now because I needed to kind of get my things together so that I could leave. And I was in school And I just needed something to kind of help me, because before I had ultimately left with my children, I needed to devise a plan to leave in a safe manner with my children and make sure that everything is taken care of. So I started listening to meditation, guided meditation. Some people do not prefer guided meditation, but just take time to think of what brings you peace. Think about your inner child. Think about the way that you grew up and things that just bring you ultimate peace. And for me, I remember in high school, my dance teacher would play guided meditation for us sometimes, and she'd make us all do it together in silence in our gym. So I was like, I actually liked that. I actually like the feeling of somebody speaking to me in a calm way, and somebody, kind of guiding me with like how to breathe and to relax and things like that. And that was supremely helpful. I did go to therapy when we were together, but my reasoning for going to therapy wasn't because I knew even I was with a narcissist. That was healing from past trauma within my family. But it had nothing to do with him. So I can't even say the therapy was something that was beneficial. I would say if you do go to therapy after, that's amazing. But I cannot say that my therapy was not in regards to this person. So it wasn't even valid when I went to therapy that I was dealing with a narcissistic person. But anyhow, I digress. I did listen to a lot of meditation, guided meditation, sleep meditation, just things to heal my inner child and wonder why I feel this way. Why do I feel that I'm allowing somebody to do this to me? Why am I feeling that I'm uneasy all the time? Why do I feel like this person is trying to make me come out of character, is trying to make me come out of my skin, so that they ultimately have, they knew that we were separating. It was inevitable. We already had kind of discussed that before. Not even discussed. I told him that I was not going to stay and get married or any of that. I knew. But then it was like everything was on the table, because you know already that I'm going to leave you. You know already I know you're a narcissist. So what is there to kind of keep safe? This person actually, out of their own mouth, said, why would I need to respect you? We're not together. I don't understand where that mentality is, and I don't want to get too much into that, because I did have a lot of fights and a lot of different things that I can speak about, but today I'm going to keep it about healing from these things and my beginning steps, and I hope they're helpful to you guys. So whatever you can listen to on Alexa, through your headphones, your AirPods or earbuds, in the car, just not sleep meditation, please, while you're operating a car. I will let you know that 100%. There are some things that are very uplifting, podcasts, different apps, different YouTube videos that you can access. Some are for sleep, exclusively for sleep. Please do not listen to these while you are doing tasks. Please just keep those for sleep. And there are definitely ones that are a bit more speaking life into you, and they're still guiding you and you're still meditating, but you're just doing your day-to-day tasks. I would listen to different videos when I was in the car driving, and I wish I saved the things I would listen to. But like I had said before, it's more of a specific thing. You could like listening to different sounds. What I found I like listening to now is those sound baths, where they have the big they look like bowls essentially, and they're just I think it's a Tibetan thing. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But it's those healing kind of bowl sound baths. And I love that. I love the vibration of it. I love the sound of it. And I recently discovered that. I was somebody very dedicated to guided meditation. But I do believe the sound baths definitely work for me. I do also play meditation to my children every night. And my son is somebody who more likes to listen to sounds. He's 4 turning 5. My son likes to listen to sounds on the Alexa. So what's comforting to him is the sound of a plane, just a humming, like an engine humming if you were a passenger up in the sky and you're hearing that. For my daughter, she likes sleep meditation stories. So that's what I'm saying. It's to each their own. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. Think of a sound that maybe, like I said, resonates with you and some type of peace within you, and listen to that. Whatever brings you joy, whatever brings you peace. If it's a nurturing sound of a man or a woman speaking with you, if it's just nature sounds, if it's just, I'm not sure, a plane like my son, the opportunities for that are endless. So please try and focus on something and listen. And I know that can't combat what you're dealing with. I would never, ever, ever say that that makes up for living with someone like that. But it did help, because I noticed when I would put in my headphones and he would try to create some type of rise, he knows I'm not listening to him. And I hope that whatever situation you may be in right now is a safe space, because you should never stay where somebody is trying to provoke you to a level they're putting their hands on you or anything like that. Then you need to remove yourself, and if you have children, out of that situation immediately. But this person was not putting their hands on me, but I could see just his actions and his gestures when I would listen to those things. He knew I'm putting myself in a positive mindset. So just trying to like throw one time a gym bag onto the bed and like hit my feet with it because he knew I had headphones in. And I'm like, what's going on right now? I don't understand what you're doing. And it's freaking out. This is someone who doesn't even really swear, grew up in like a very kind of like West Indian culture household where they're not swearing and stuff like that. So it's like he's swearing and calling me all types of names in the shower, like really loudly so I can hear, and then came out and threw the gym bag and said like he's tired of my crap and whatever. I'm listening to meditation in the headphones. I have no idea where this even came from, but it's because you're not getting a rise out of me. So as soon as you learn my basis on that, when it comes to, in a nutshell, what I'm saying when it comes to meditation is you're essentially learning to control your emotional response. That is very important, because I'm somebody that would freak out. I would cry. Because it's like terrorizing. Somebody's essentially terrorizing you. So I would engage. Unwillingly, I would engage because I didn't know what else to escape with. So I would be involved, and that was not healthy at all. And when I started to do my own thing and just listen to my headphones, and, obviously my children were taken care of or asleep at these times, or whatever it might have been, if they're with their grandparents or something like that, I would take the time to make sure that I'm trying to understand how I'm responding. Because one saying my dad would always say growing up, one hand cannot clap. He would always do this and say one hand can't clap. You need two people to have that type of problem. You need two people to be yelling. Two people need to be arguing. So it's one hand is not going to be able to do that much damage. It can make noise, but it's not making as much noise as this. And I'm sorry for anybody if you're listening with headphones. I don't mean to be clapping in your ears. But just that simple fact, that was very helpful to me. So I'm going to move on to the next thing now. Taking time to heal. Take time to heal. And this may start once you separate from the narcissist, because this was something I put into play once I had left. Was I still and would I slip up too? I wasn't the ultimate monk of meditation. Like, I definitely would slip up. It took me a while to not be triggered by this person. Even some days that I drop my son off with him, we do, our meetup, I still feel triggered at times by this person. And it's a work in progress. I think mentally just digesting that I'm going to be seeing this person essentially for the rest of my life at any kind of time my son is celebrating, anything that's like a milestone in my son's life, this person is going to be there. It does bother you when you think long term, like, I have to continue to see you. And it bothers me because my son is partially being raised by someone like this. So I feel like I'm compelled to put in extra work, or to put my son into some type of therapy, or to always be on alert. My son is young, and he is around my ex-narcissist's new partner, his new supply, and her children. which I did feel compelled to say something, but I didn't. And that will be a whole different video about me kind of finding out about this person and how he's going about having a relationship with this person. But I just kind of feel sorry for like her as a woman, definitely, and her children, because they're not even aware of what's going on. But sometimes I've watched other videos about that too. Like, should you warn the new supply? Like, I've looked for answers online. Like, what should I do? Because I feel compelled to tell somebody, like, I wish somebody told me. You know what I mean? I wish I didn't waste my time. I wish I didn't have to suffer. But essentially, the person I am today, I needed to, as horrible as that sounds, I needed to go through that life lesson. That was a lesson, not a blessing. The only blessing that came out of that was our son, who's a very sweet boy. He's so sweet, my Davy. We needed to have that relationship in order for me to grow, because of the type of person that I was and the type of upbringing I had. I was prone to this, and if it wasn't him, I'm thinking in my mind, it would have just been somebody else with the same tendencies, because I was used to a pattern. And I needed to have that time. As of now, this has been the longest time that I've been single since being a teen. And that's only, I'm only 30 years old. And I have been single for about 2.5 years, maybe. I would say around so. I've always had a boyfriend. Like, that's how I've been since I was younger. I never looked at it as codependent. I was just like, oh, I like having a boyfriend. I like being in a relationship, you know, like, I didn't feel comfortable by myself. I didn't. And when you don't feel that comfort, that feeling of just comfort and solace and being alone, just being alone, you are most likely codependent. Like I said, I'm not any kind of therapist. I can't say, but I just knew that the way that I felt, I had to be with somebody back then. Like, I had to. That's where my focus went. And I was somebody that would not focus on myself. I wouldn't take time for myself. I would be 1000% all in, you know. And it's not healthy to put somebody up here and you're down here. That's not healthy, you know. And I had to take the time to learn that and be by myself, just be by myself. Have I gone on dates? Yes. Have I, you know, talk to people here and there? I have, during my healing process, because it's different for everybody. Some people are completely exclusively alone. Some people are still out in the world dating and seeing, like, you know, what do I like? What do I not like? Did I rush that? No, you know. And I kind of was like, I'm taking things easy, you know, like, if I meet somebody, I meet somebody, whatever, like that. And I tried the dating app thing, whatever, like that. That did not work for me. But take time and pace yourself. I'm a firm believer, in something bigger than me, like spiritually. I don't know if you know, many of you believe in like God or you're spiritual in any kind of way, just some type of higher power. It doesn't need to specifically be the same things that I believe in. But I believe having that kind of hope held on for me, that there's somebody out there for me. And if you deal with codependency, you're like, oh my God, how do I deal with being by myself? Like, how do I deal with that? You know, I think just taking the time to heal is essential. And just being alone and discovering what you want. However that looks, you know, listening to other people's journey, like myself on YouTube, you know, taking time to figure out hobbies and things you like to do, like just taking the time to heal, just taking that time for yourself is so essential. You can rush in with somebody else and God forbid you're just back to square one, because you're still codependent. You're still putting somebody on a pedestal above yourself. You're still trying to serve other people. No, once you can't give that to yourself and you feel completely healed and you're content with being alone. And I'm going to tell you guys something that I actually asked for in my prayers. When I would pray, I would say, if anyone is a distraction to me, please remove them from my life. If anyone has ill will towards me, if anyone has ill intent, ill will, is not coming with pure intentions, and their pure intentions align with mine, I don't want any part of that. And I would find that a lot of the situations where I would, and I wasn't deep in it too. I would be texting people, I'd be trying to go on dates, but I felt like I was at a confidence level and a self-love level where I can say, now, instead of asking myself, well, does he like me? I would ask myself, do I like him? Do I actually like this person? Do I want to spend time with this person? Do I want to see a future with this person? What is this like? And that didn't come easy. And it wasn't, definitely not at the beginning of the breakup. No, it took time. And then I went into, I don't want to date at all. You know, I'm currently coming out of that phase and trying to get back in, but I took time to just completely for myself, 100%. On the weekends, even if I didn't have my daughter or son with me, I was by myself. And it was difficult because I am close to my brother and he's always with his girlfriend. So it's like sometimes I was third wheeling it. My friends had things going on romantically, and I'd be third wheeling it sometimes with them. And I'm like, you know what? It is what it is, because I'm content by myself. I'm not going to be with someone just to be with someone. And I was so glad I was there, because when I was younger, it's like, I like you, you like me, we're just together, you know? So I thought I had boundaries when I met that narcissistic person, and God showed me, like, you did, girl, you did not set up any boundaries that you thought you had, like, and this person was able to just kind of just break you down. So I think that it's really beneficial to make sure that you have that time for yourself. Something else. So just reflecting on past relationships as well and thinking, okay, were any of the relationships I was in healthy? My answer was no. Straight up no, 100% no. Oh, sorry, the light's kind of blinding me. No, I knew that none of the relationships that I was in prior to being with this person were healthy either. Were they narcissistic relationships? No, that is the first time I ever met somebody like that. Was I perfect in relationships? No. I seen examples of how my parents went through conflict, and it was in a very toxic way. And one day I will make a video about how I grew up and the things that I seen, and see if that resonates with anybody as to how they ended up with somebody who suffers from narcissistic personality disorder. And I say suffer because they're never gonna have love. They're never gonna have that type of, that type of life that they may, I don't even know if they long for it. I think they long to just kind of like keep people as puppets for them. But that's why I say suffering, because without love and without that type of bond in your life, like, and that could be self-love, that could be love with your family and children, that could be love through a romantic partner, your husband, your soulmate, they will never truly have that. So that's why I say suffering. But just doing your own reflection on how you showed up in relationships, because we have to take some level of accountability as well. And I had to look back and be like, there were ways I was dealing with things in an unhealthy way. Like prior to meditation, my reaction to being hurt was very, very much so like loud, because I didn't know how to deal with that. I didn't know how to deal with being hurt. So I would freak out, I would cry, I would just like, I didn't know how to deal with it. So I said, what do I want from a partner, and have I been doing those things myself? So it's just holding yourself accountable. That's very important as well. Redirecting my focus. So I redirected my focus when I came here. I am somebody who, I love to cook. I did start to like run a business, make food, do catering and things like that. There were definitely times I, felt pretty down, or I was in my own head about like how I'm doing things and what I'm doing. And it's a work in progress. It's just having that. I did take some notes here. So one thing for certain is positive self-talk. I did not have any positive self-talk. I was like my biggest hater in here. For some people, I'm not sure how they combat that. That has been destructive self-talk, has been something that's been going on in my life since I was a kid. I've always had the urge to tell myself I can't do things. I'm not capable. I don't deserve certain things. Why me? Like, why would I be the special person? Why would I be the successful person? Like, just having that and having that belief attracts these type of people to you. You become a target because they can see that you are so easily fallen into this kind of, oh, well, I'm not really that good, like as a person mentally. And it's that just voice, rearranging how and taking the time to process how you actually take things in. And that may be the music you listen to, the friends and family you have around you, what you're being exposed to, and how you feel about yourself. I had to take time and literally, I'm going to bring that in as well, journal, write down my old thoughts and my new thoughts. And I wrote these down in these certain categories. This had to do with self-love, one of my categories, and my thoughts, my old thoughts on how I used to think and perceive things, and my new thoughts. I literally rewrote how I wanted to think and how I was going to think. When it came to career goals and my financial situation in life, like, what do I want from this? Where am I going to go with this? What are my old thoughts when it came to money, career, like my life? What do I want to do? And with self-love, it was also just happiness, just general happiness. And my romantic life, which I wrote down just love, like what I would want for myself moving forward in a husband, what I would want for my children in regards to that family life and setting with a husband. What would I want to attain with this person in life? Like, how much would I want to build? How much would I want to grow? And technically people call that manifesting. That's AKA manifesting. We all know about that now, that it's manifesting, but it's just putting your intentions out there, what you want for yourself. Disregard, I don't care how hot, sexy, whatever you think somebody is who comes into your life. Look at your checklist for yourself and rise to that occasion, that you set that standard for yourself. You set your intention and you're going for the intention. Right now, the way that I view things in life is I have intention towards everything I do and all things that I move. I already have a set intention. And setting an intention for yourself is so important with what you want for self-love, with what you want career-wise, financially, what you want when it comes to your love life. Setting that intention is so important because then this is my rule book. I'm writing my rule book. And before I didn't have a rule book. I didn't have boundaries. I didn't have anything. I literally was just existing and so eager to give love and receive love that I had no playbook. Like, how do I safely do this? And there's like a manual for everything, literally. It could be the most obvious thing and you're like, why does this require a manual? But it does. And we could think that we're simple, but we're actually not. We're very complex beings. Individuals. We're individuals. So I think writing those things down and just being like, you know what, this is my game plan and these are my intentions. And sometimes people write them as journal entries about this is the life they're already living, which, like I said again, is manifesting. Writing their life like that. Sometimes I do both. I write the things that I want in list format, and I just recently, within this past week, started writing stories romanticizing my life, my dream life. Like, I'm in Greece right now with my kids and my husband. I'm doing this. I don't have a husband. I have my kids, but I'm like, we're on vacation in Greece and this is our life and we're enjoying things and we're in a safe, healthy environment. And I'm talking about the water. I'm talking about the air. I'm talking about what we're eating, what we're looking at. Like, that could be beneficial. And even though it sounds like fairy tales and a story, it can help because you're literally writing this life down and you're like, I can attain this. I can. Also, I am looking for visual people, for my visual people. Make a vision board if need be. Sometimes hearing an audio isn't good for you. Not that it isn't good for you, I should say, but it doesn't suffice to what you need. If you know you're a visual person, make a vision board. Put in all the things that you want for yourself, self-love, like a photo of yourself as a kid, and look at that picture and be like, how would I treat, if I took care of myself right now, how would I treat myself? how would I treat myself as a child right now if I looked into my eyes as 7-year-old Cheyenne, which makes me kind of teary-eyed right now, but just bear with me. How would I want her to be treated? Looking back on, and I know you guys can see me getting a bit emotional, like thinking about my 7-year-old self. How would I want to treat her? How would I want her to know she's loved? How would I want her to feel heard and seen as a person? And that's what I'm trying to do in terms of like visual. So in terms of like a vision board, you can put up all your goals. You can put point forms there. You can put pictures of things you want to attain. You can put love on there. You can put family photos on there. You can put anything, your career, your ultimate career goal. Put your focus into you 100%. These people have drained us for a long time. A long time. And my heart goes out to everybody who's still in those situations, who's battling, and you're looking for answers. Your time will come, your day will come, and you will rise above this. And just thinking about your inner child and how to heal them. I just recently discovered within this last week, I felt so compelled for my 30th birthday to go to a cottage. Like, nothing was stopping me from going to this cottage, okay? Which I am glad I shared some time with my family and friends at a cottage a couple hours away from my city. And I was so happy to just be away from the city. And this past week, talking to one of my friends, I was like, that's healed a part of like my inner child. Like that was like healing for me. And it sounds crazy because it's like, oh, you're just going to a cottage. Like, what? Excuse me. But I was like, I needed to do these things in order to... I thought about, how did I feel happy when I was a kid? What made me super happy? And I said, being outdoors, feeling seen and heard, speaking to people who would communicate with me in a healthy way, I should say. Just being outdoors was something I could control. I can control that right now. I can control what I accept in terms of people and how they speak to me and who's around me and whose energy I'm decided to having my exchange with. But how am I going to control this right now? And I put myself out there in terms of going to that cottage and making that a goal, you know, and I was so happy to be in the water, to be doing things with friends and family. Like that's where I thrive, like having that downtime with friends and family to really focus on laughing, enjoying like good food together, just being with them and having nothing else to focus on. That was a big thing for me. And if that's something, being outdoors, make your visual board, that vision board, everything that you know that brings you joy. And to some people it sounds far-fetched, it sounds crazy, but try. The journey of healing is an everlasting journey. I you know, however cliche that sounds. I think we're always evolving. I always want to be a better version of myself. I want to say 10 years from now, I will be a better version of myself. I wrote down in my book of manifestation, my journal, about my health, and my health is improving, about my health, about where I want to be, about all those things. Please take your time to write down, listen, audio, visual, writing, whatever your strong suit is. If you can apply all 3 of those things, that would be amazing. Take your time. Take your time, have patience with yourself. That's something I'm also practicing. Having patience within myself. Having that patience. Sorry, the sun is like this wasn't the greatest place to put my camera. But having that vision. And I just wanted to make even my camera view and how I speak to you guys like talking to a friend. Like I'm on a couch speaking to one of my friends right now. You know, as comfortable as I can and as comforting, like we're having a coffee just sitting at my home in my living room. You know, take time, guys. Take time to work on yourself. Take the time to think of what brings you joy. And it's hard. At the beginning, I didn't even know what brought me joy because I was so robbed from joy. You know, just please take that time, focus on yourself. Whether that may be alone, surrounded by family, focus on what you want and put it into perspective. Set intentions for what you want and take time to heal. That is my main message for you guys. And I really hope anyone who falls upon this video, you take something from it. You know, if not everything, you take something. And I hope whoever is still in these situations, you find your way out, you find your inner voice, you find your own inner thoughts, and you look at yourself as someone of importance, because you are. So I want everyone to continue their healing journey. It's an everlasting journey. You're not going to get to a level where you're like, I'm completely fine now, I'm good. Life is always, it's ever, you know, flowing. Like we're always going through different stages, and we need to evolve to meet that stage in life. So take care of yourselves. Please try and focus on yourself and evolving to the best version of yourself and the best being that you're able to be before you can love someone else. Anyways, guys, it was a pleasure speaking with you today. I am going to be making more content. I just want to check in with you guys quick with that note. Thank you. Bye.